Out Comes the Sun with Mariel Hemingway and Melissa Yamaguchi. Out Comes the Sun compassionately helps you navigate mental wellness practices that you can apply to your daily life. And we tell your story. And now, Mariel Hemingway and Melissa Yamaguchi.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Out Comes the Sun radio, podcast, and everything else. We are so excited to be here today. We have an amazing guest, and let's start with catching up, because that's what we do. That's what Melissa and I do. We catch up on our lives, and it's been a good week. Oh, very interesting week. Kind of an up and down
week already.
Right. It's not even done yet, right?
No, we're in the middle. Yeah, it's not even done yet. And I already feel like we've had Thanksgiving dinner. It's full.
Yeah, well, our guest is incredible. And he's brought to mind like so many things that I've been thinking about lately a lot. Like, because we did record it. So we talked to him about animals and the relationship to animals and our human behavior. And it just so resonates with me because, kind of on my downtime, I will look at stories about animals and how, and animal behavior. And it's just, it's soothing. They're never going to be, it's kind of like watching babies on the internet. It's like, they're always doing something funny, interesting, and profoundly truthful, right? It's not fabricated. I guess and I think we long for that. I think we live in such a high technology world that feeling that truthfulness of behavior, you just want to see it. So that's why animals are so powerful, because you're just like, they're just authentic.
They're authentic. It's and it's every reaction is organic, nothing staged. Yeah. I know in acting, you know this better than I, obviously, that I say it's most difficult to act when there's an animal or a baby because they are so genuine and authentic. You can't stage it. Yeah, it's raw. It can be very raw. And our guest is he's in South Africa, and he works with the reserves, and they're working on conservation. And as you and I were prepping, I was having wistful remembrances of my time in South Africa, because Billy and I went there, pre-children, and we did a bunch of work there, working and spreading our messages about energy and all throughout South Africa. And we fell madly in love with the area, madly in love with the people, with the experiences, the environment. Every single thing about it was just delicious. And then so much so that when we had an opportunity to go back, when the children were a little bit older, we jumped on that opportunity. So knowing that we're going to be able to share Roy's stories and his incredible information and the work that he's doing, the vital work for all of us, is really, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. But I have some good news to share, Mariel.
What?
We have good news to share. It's going to be happening 5 days a week.
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
8 days a week. We got 5 days a week.
It is so exciting. Hey, everybody, this is so exciting. We are going to be doing something called Mornings with Mariel and Melissa. We're so blown away. We can't even believe it. Before I announce what this is going to be, I have to say that I've always wanted to be a radio host. Why? I don't know. Why? I have no idea. Like, I've been, I've acted with great people. I've worked with great directors. Why do I just ultimate end to I don't know. I'm loving it. So anyway,
that's great.
At 8 to 9, Monday through Friday on KZSB 96.9 FM and 1290 FM right here in Santa Barbara. Please join us.
Woohoo!
Our PC. Correct? No, I doubt we're that, but we're going to have so much fun. I just know it. I'm super excited. And I love the idea of being on in the morning. I'm a dedicated morning listener to radio shows, and I think people going to work, and it's just a cool time. I mean, 8 to 9, what?
Start your day, get going, and we get to be with you. We're going to be in your car on your radio. It's really exciting stuff, and we are looking forward to bringing you, the audience, all of our beautiful guests, their wealth of information. We're going to be learning right along with you and sharing in the excitement of everything that we're bringing. We can't contain it. It's Mornings with Mariel and Melissa. We're M cubed, and we're just beside ourselves.
We are beside ourselves. Incredible guests. I mean, we'll have Valerie Bertinelli. We have Chase Hughes. He's a good friend of ours. He does mind stuff.
Oh yeah. Chase is the guy that you talk to, and you make sure that you know exactly where your eyes are looking when you answer him.
Yeah, I know, right? Like,
he's
behavioral science. He does behavioral science, and it's
yeah.
I mean, he's great, and I think that we're going to have him on periodically. We'll also have Roy Zatitsky, who is an extraordinary human being, talking about the animals in South Africa. Bobby Williams, who is my significant other, an extraordinary human who really does understand wellness, exercise, and high performance, and how you can integrate that into your life in a very simple and easy way. We have healers and people that are doing amazing psychology kind of work, behavioral health work. It's incredible. We're and Sean Flaherty. I mean, we've got incredible guests. We've, yep. Oh my God, John Cleese. What?
John Cleese.
Oh, I don't know. He may be the highlight of my life because he just made me laugh so much. And I realized how much I love to laugh. I was talking about it with a friend of mine who's here from Idaho, and I said, when you find that person that you just guffaw every day for absolutely no reason at all. I mean, I have that relationship with you, Melissa, but I also have that with Bobby. And there's something about that just laughter and happiness for no reason. Like, it doesn't have to be defined. It's just something that happens. It kind of overwhelms you, and it fills you with this energy that is extraordinary. I highly recommend it.
Highly recommend it. And he asked on the show if he could call me honey. And I told my husband that story last night, and he stood there staring at me for about 5 seconds. And so in order to break the mood, I began singing the Paul Simon song, I can call you Betty, Betty if you call me. But I substituted Betty for honey. I don't know. He didn't seem to laugh as much as I did, but I thought it was great. Oh.
Much fun. But that's what life is about. I mean, you get to that place. We talked about that with war. We talked about the animals and finding your purpose in life. When you find your purpose in life, I think laughter comes so incredibly naturally.
Yes.
Anyway, it's an extraordinary time. Thank you for joining us. And next we are going to speak to our guest, which is incredible. So stay tuned, stay, driving and focused, but just listen up.
Hands on the wheel, listen in.
Welcome back to Out Comes the Sun Radio. And we're excited because we have an amazing guest, Roy Zatitsky, who is in South Africa as we speak. So he's on a different time zone, but we share a common heart as far as the love of animals and appreciation for nature. Roy has been photographing the magnificent creatures of South Africa for over 10 years. And besides being a wildlife photographer, Roy is a film director, director of photography, producer, fashion photographer, and musician, and has been a film festival juror, including the International Emmy Awards. Roy studied film on the Brooks Film Institute in Santa Barbara, California. in the 1980s and has notched up a lot of experience since then. He is a recipient of the South African film industry's Best Mentor Award for his work in transformation and is also a winner of the Best Cinematography Mnet Yuka Award. I might get that wrong. Roy, help me. What is that?
It's the Mnet VUCA Awards.
Mnet VUCA Award. Anyway, we're just so incredibly honored to have you as a guest on our show. And I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about your story and how, you know, you've got this incredible organization, My Wildlife, and that's Wild, WYLD. And it's extraordinary. And your photographs are extraordinary. But tell us a little bit about yourself and your story and how you came about making that, you know, getting involved in animals and that whole thing.
You know, I've always been interested in animals and in nature and trying to improve the world and the world around me. So this was actually born out of quite a rough period during COVID, where I went into a bit of a deep depression because my wife and I got separated due to circumstance. She went to America to visit the daughters. I was supposed to follow 2 weeks later. COVID happened in between, and I got stuck here. And the frustration of being alone at home, and I just said to my best mate, let's go on a road trip and let's go to some game reserves and let's explore, because I don't think any of those elephants out there have COVID and we don't have to worry about it. So let's just hit
Right.
the road. And it was just wanting to change my life, reinvent. And off we went. And we went to a place called the Addo Elephant Park, where you have huge herds of elephant. And we just sat at the waterhole, and we were one of the few people who'd actually gotten into the game reserve at that point in time. So we had this incredible game reserve to ourselves. We were surrounded by hundreds of elephant at the waterhole. And of course, there were lots of baby elephants, and I love photographing baby elephants. So it was a dream situation for me. And then on the way back to Cape Town, the bug had bitten, and I just wanted to get back into the bush again. And Gondwana Game Reserve had a little special on for South Africans, because obviously tourists weren't coming, and they were very quiet during that period. So I suggested to my mate, Jared, let's go to Gondwana. Let's see if we can get a booking. Of course, we got a booking because they were pretty much empty. And we stayed at Gondwana for a couple of nights. I remembered that an old school friend of mine had a home in Gondwana, had a villa just like this one. And so I called her up and I said, hey, we coming to Gondwana. And said, hey, you got to come visit. We visited. She said, look, next time you come, you don't stay in the lodge. You can come stay in my villa. Anyway, a few weeks later, I had post-road trip depression. And I called her up and said, oh, I'm feeling a bit low. She said, get in your car and go to the game reserve. Chill out. That's your happy place. Go and be there. I'm not going to be there, but make yourself at home. This is where the key is. Open the door. Help yourself, and which I did. Yeah. And anyway, the situation came about where she ended up, one of the other villas in this free roaming area became available for purchase. And she purchased it. And she said, well, there's a villa for you to now stay in. And this is it. This is where I now stay. And this is a really good school friend from many, many years ago. So she really has opened doors for me. Anyway, eventually I managed to get it together. COVID settled down, and I went to America to visit my family, meet my grandchildren, and when I was there, a friend of mine said, "Hey, I'm going for breakfast with this guy Jonathan, and on Friday, and he's quite well connected in the film industry, and maybe you want to come with him." I said, "Sure, I love breakfast." Anyway, I met Jonathan Platt, who fell in love with my wildlife photography, and he asked me to send him a dozen pictures or so, and I did, and he shared them with another partner, Daniel Sater, and he also loved my work, and we started mywildlife.com. And at the time, at our breakfast meeting, he asked me, what are you doing with all this wildlife stuff? I said, well, I'm working towards a book. And he said, what's it called? I said, it's called My Wildlife. And he said, hey, there's something there. And that's how mywildlife.com, wild with it, Y, was born. And I haven't looked back, because I'm now living my best life. This is my happy place. I love being in the bush. And I'm trying to make a difference in a small way, and draw attention to conservation and draw attention to the plight of animals.
Oh, absolutely. I have so many images, kind of images of your images, which are extraordinary. People need to go on Instagram and the site to look at some of these incredible images. But it reminds me, my grandfather spent so much time in Africa, not South Africa per se, but in Africa with the wildlife. And, it's a profound and different experience, one which I hope to come and do in person with you, by the way. That was
looking forward to that.
To your villa. But there's something about that connection to nature, to wildlife, that is so profound. And, you were talking about the depression of being, not doing your heart's desire, right? Not living your best life. And when you're not kind of in sync with what your heart's desire wants, it like sends you down this road that is so challenging. So I applaud you for like hanging in there and getting on course, because it's so important. And it's a reminder, it doesn't matter how old we are, when, we can start living our best life whenever we choose. But it's about, you sort of have to know where your boundaries are, don't you think? Like you
Absolutely.
have to know where things don't work, and then moving into where things do work.
Well, tomorrow's Freedom Day, which commemorates the very first election after the after the apartheid era.
Wow.
So, I think it's, I want to use a Nelson Mandela quote, because he said, a winner is a dreamer that never gives up.
Yes,
and that. I think those are moving words, and it's kind of almost like a mantra. You just got to keep going. Mm-hmm. and never give up on your dreams, and keep plodding on, and my dream is to have some sort of impact, make a difference, and do something meaningful in my life. I've been involved in advertising and commercials and all that kind of stuff for many years, and you go, oh well, another TV ad, but I want to do something that it can make a change, make a difference.
Absolutely.
And I think if everybody does a little something, we'll make a big change.
That's exactly right. No, it's huge. It's huge what you're doing. And I think there comes a time in your life when you when that shift comes and you go, oh, I mean, Melissa and I, we talk about on our show, and she gives pointers for Feng Shui. And we were talking a few days ago about, like getting rid of what doesn't work anymore in your life, because sometimes for you, it happened kind of naturally, like you went in the direction that your heart, and then those other things just dropped. It's like, it's not that advertising is bad or this is bad. Nothing's bad. It got you to where you are, but it's like at a certain point, it's not fulfilling, right? It's kind of like technology these days. It's wonderful. It's great. We have this connection. We can see you on Zoom. We can, whatever. But the real being in person and really touching the outdoors, seeing it, feeling it, that's the shift that I think is so incredible.
And I think more and more people are shifting in that direction. More and more people are, since COVID, there's such a movement to go live out in the country now and not be in the city, and to change your life and to reinvent your life. And it doesn't matter how old you are.
That's right.
You can just get on with it and try,
Yeah.
And,
well, I also think when you follow your dreams, then you manifest the right, your income supports those. Somehow when you really get on the right track, everything falls in line. If you're doing it properly, not avoiding things, but like to me, it's kind of like that's the true manifestation, is like following your heart, your intuition guides you towards these things. And then all of a sudden things just start, like a petal of a flower, just start, unfolding into this life that makes sense for you. I love what you're doing. And you were saying before we went on the air, you were saying that you had some incredible stories of late, like recent things, no?
Yeah, I had an incredible week. Well, I'll go back a little bit. And one morning, I got up and I just had this feeling about elephants, and spent the day, and I was thinking about them a lot. And I was going to go on a game drive that afternoon, and decided, no, I'm just not in the mood. I'm just going to stay at home, watch the sunset, take it easy. I had a late afternoon shower and I felt great. I walked out to the deck, and there was this elephant. His name is Mabitsi. He's one of the large males. We have one of the herds is called the Ladies Club, and it has 2 males that kind of travel with these ladies. And Mabitsi was all alone, standing in the plains, and Mabitsi acknowledged me with his trunk. He kind of raised it up like this and acknowledged me. And then he started to pose, and out came my camera, and he turned this way like a model does. He turned this way, put his trunk out this way, turned this way, put his trunk out that way. And he was posing for me. And there was this chemistry. There was this connection, and I felt it. And Mabitsi felt it. And it went on for quite a while. And eventually the sun set, and Mabitsi acknowledged me the same way, and then just wandered off towards the sunset. And that was it. But it's an experience I'll never forget.
Oh.
It was just so moving and that is, in fact, one of the photographs from that session has just made the shortlist of the South African Photographer of the Year competition. So it's
congratulations.
It's kind of doing a bit of a full circle now. So it's reminding me about Mabitsi. But 2 nights ago, I was chatting on FaceTime, and I heard noises in outside, and I thought, "Oh, that's weird. What's making a noise out there?" And I went to my side window, and there was Mabitsi, breaking up the garbage enclosure. We recycle everything at Gondwana. So we have organic waste, we have normal recycling, we have normal waste, etc., etc. And Mabitsi had smelt that organic waste, and he wanted that as a snack. So he literally tore apart the entire garbage thing. He was by himself. The rest of the herd weren't there, and pulled out this bag of organic waste and went about eating it all. I managed to get some video and everything. It was very exciting, right outside my window. But completely destroyed. He took one of the garbage cans, squeezed it, and it disintegrated. Anyway, we looked at each other through the window, and he kind of looked at me, and then I think he saw me, and then he wandered off into the night. But the damage was done. So last night I'm chatting to my wife on FaceTime, and I go, hang on a second, noises again. And I go to the window, to the front window outside there that walks out onto the deck, and my whole house is surrounded by these 7 elephants. And they've completely encircled the house. And now Mabitsi's back there, and obviously telling them, hey, there's treasure over here. There might be a nice snack for all of us, but they're busy eating of the grass, and they try to push over a tree on the side of my house. But this is it. I live in their world. So I just accept, okay, the garbage enclosure's smashed. We'll deal with it. We'll fix it.
Yeah.
But this is their world. But it's very exciting to have elephants surrounding your house. And it was quite an exciting week for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, it's crazy. But these are the experiences of living in the bush. And my wildlife, the whole idea of my wildlife is to give viewers and people who do join the tribe the same kind of experience. I'm taking them on drives with me and sharing some of my daily experiences. There's a video that went out today, actually, on my wildlife, on all the social media things, about a cheetah that also kind of almost befriended us. My friend Jared had come to visit me from Cape Town, and we took a little drive just 2 villas away, and there was this cheetah. And he came and he lay in front of the vehicle, and he rolled over, almost like rub my tummy, like kitties do, because they are just big kitties.
Yes.
And we followed him, but I'd heard about the fact that he'd lost his partner. Sorry, she had lost her partner, who'd run off with another man, with another cheetah. Wow. And she was putting out these little whistling sounds and looking all over the place, trying to find her partner. So it was this like love affair that we were witnessing, and this jealousy, and it was just incredible, because these were all kind of human traits, things we understand as humans. But she'd lost her partner, and she was totally upset, and you could see she was distraught. And the sad end of the story was that a couple of days later, she ran into the lions, and a cheetah is no match for the lions. So they just somehow ended up in the same place at the same time. And, you try as much as you can to remove yourself from that emotion, but I was in tears. This really hurt me, this losing this cheetah, because it had become so close. So the next day after it was at my vehicle, we were going on a morning game drive. And Jared went out onto the deck early morning, 5 a.m, coffee, that kind of thing. He walked out the door. He said, "Roy, come outside. The cheetah's sitting in front of the deck." It had come back to me. And I said, "Jared, what are you talking about? Don't joke. It's too early for jokes like this." He said, "No, the cheetah's in front of the deck." Anyway, I ran outside, and there it was. And again, it was trying to get onto the deck. It looked like it needed a hug, because it was really missing its partner. It was feeling alone in the bush. And it was feeling kind of a little bit hopeless. And you could see those emotions were coming through. Anyway, and then the next day it was gone. It was, So it's life in the wild. You kind of experience the ups and the downs.
Absolutely. And this connection to wildlife and how our behavior, we do have similar behavior. There is these connections that you have with your partner, your love, your this, your that. And I think I think what you're doing is profound for people to really understand that we are all interconnected, the animal world, the human world, all of it. We're the plant world. We have this synergistic marriage or dance that we do that we've forgotten about, because, life is taken over and we live in the big cities and we're inundated with technology. But that is your stories are so powerful, because they resonate with us as humans, as a connection to the animal world, and you're reminded of that connection. Are you still doing film?
Well, I am I'm working on a little documentary. It's a working title is called Life Lessons from the Wild. And I'm basically comparing human behavior to animal behavior. And I'm looking at very smart animals like elephants who, elephants are incredibly smart. And I'm really delving deeply into their behavior and what we can learn from them. Humans seem to have lost the track a little bit in some ways. And I'm trying to see, when I watch how they handle birth and I watch how they handle death, they've got rituals for both of those. And when a little elephant is born, the whole herd is moved by this experience, and they all come around and help prod it up and help it stand up and get its first feet, kind of thing. And that is incredible to watch. It's like, it's like when we have somebody has a baby, your friend has a baby, you all arrive and you bring gifts, and it's similar in its own way, and they just have this wonderful way of caring. They've got a lot more kind of neurons than we do. Their brains obviously a lot bigger, and a lot of their capacities about memory, really, they remember everything. And that's why I think Mabitsi knows me. And there is one of the rangers in Gondwana actually is in love with Mabitsi. And she's mad about Mabitsi. In fact, she's tattooed Mabitsi onto her arm. And I'm doing a bit of a little story on her for my wildlife, because she's just so connected to this animal. And there are, I've got another friend that's coming to visit me tomorrow, and she's having to put her cat down today. And we build such a connection with our animals.
Yes.
And for me, it's whether they're domestic or wild, it doesn't matter. There's still a connection. And that's why I was moved by the parting of this cheetah. As much as my friend Melissa is moved by having to put her cat down. And, I had another experience with a little baby giraffe that I'd photographed, and the next day it also was gone. And so I'm being open about those relationships and those positions in terms of the posts that go out in my wildlife. I'm wanting people to understand that I'm not just outside looking in. I'm part of this world of the animals, and I'm trying to make a stand for them, because the extinction numbers are reducing at an alarming rate. And who else is going to stand up for them but the few humans that care? So conservationists that do all the work, and game reserves like Gondwana, the owners are incredible, the work they've done. And their mission is to try and reverse that extinction process in their little world, in their small way. And, we have a link on mywildlife.com to Gondwana Game Reserve and the Gondwana Conservation Foundation, which is a non-profit fund, where viewers and listeners can go and donate. And they can donate even small change, even a couple of dollars, because, if everybody, a million people donate a couple of dollars, we can make a big change. They say small change can make a big change if it's in big numbers. So, please encourage your listeners to help us make a difference, because they can be part of the change. And I think we're in that time of mankind where there are people that are really making a lot of effort to make a difference now, seeing the world for what it is, and seeing that we're all part of the universal energy.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Mariel, about the plants and about the animals and everything, we're all part of it. And we're all connected in one way or another. And this is, so I'm just finding myself in this place. I almost feel like I've been led here, and that I'm just doing the work. It's almost, I just feel like I'm the hand and somebody else is controlling it and making the painting. It's like that feeling. And so, if there are other people out there that can help, it would really be appreciated.
Absolutely. Melissa.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure that you have something to ask.
I was thinking about the connection that you have with the animals and how and the work that you're doing. But I think that what the majority of people do not understand, excuse me, outside of the images that you provide and the beauty that you capture, and that titillates us. But on a serious note, I think what we're missing, those of us on the outside, don't understand that the extinction of these animals is detrimental to our livelihood everywhere. People have this connection like, oh, well, if the cows die, if the cows go into an extinction, what are we going to eat? They really have a myopic view on extinction, not understanding that the obliteration of the rainforest in Brazil damages our air up here in the North America. The extinction of our animals, regardless of where they are, the polar bears, the animals in Africa, this is a detrimental outcome for all of us. So this is more than aesthetics and momentary coffee book beauty titillation. This is really substantial, impressive, and impactful work that you're doing. So I really want to applaud you on bringing recognition to this, and we want to support you as much as possible because we know how important it is.
Absolutely.
It's absolutely important. It's you know, the biggest cause of the reduction in numbers and the movement towards extinction is humankind.
Yes.
And irony is that it's up to the humans to actually try and reverse that and fix that.
Yeah.
And thank goodness for those humans that are out there making that difference. So the conservationists, the private game reserves who will take animals in and really try and create a biodiverse environment that allows for more birth and more animals to increase in numbers. You know, hats off to them, because they are the ones that we have to support. And yes. and so, you know, I'm finding myself more and more immersed in this world, and the deeper I go, the more I realize how much work needs to be done.
I want to note something. You know, I'm sorry.
Sorry, carry on.
I wanted to note something that those listening in on the show they're not witnessing. So if they get a chance, I want them to go to anywhere they can find us on video. And because as you and Meryl were speaking earlier about working towards your passion and the impact that it has on your happiness level, I would like to note, just from a microscopic glimpse here, of the physiological change. As you're speaking about your work on any level, the smile that spreads across your face, your back straightens up, this physiological change that happens is so beautiful to witness that I know it has this impact on your life and the world that you're living in. I want to note it because it really is a beautiful thing to watch you smile and the joy that spreads across your face when you're talking about your work.
Yeah. And also you sharing that makes, I felt the same. I was like, oh my gosh, you resonate with what you're saying, and it spreads. That's part of the spreading of joy, of happiness, and all that stuff. So what you're doing has an impact on our mental well-being.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my own mental well-being is I witness miracles every day. and it's incredible, the miracles I witness every day in the wild. And I think it was Einstein who said, you can either live your life as if everything is a miracle or as if nothing is a miracle. And if you become in tune with the miracles that that are in your life, you start appreciating them more and more. And that brings on gratitude. And as you know, the energy of gratitude is enormous.
Yes.
So I am extremely grateful for the situation that I'm in, and for being in this position to share some of what I witness, the miracles I witness every day, with people out there who are interested.
It's incredible. Wow. We are blessed. We are fortunate to have you as a guest. We are fortunate to have you on the planet. Your stories are they're they're almost intoxicating. You kind of get, I feel like we've gone down this road with you, and you're a great storyteller. So thank you for that, because there's this ability to see the seven, the seven elephants around your house. And I got chills as I was thinking about it, and like, I love it. The elephant taking the organic matter is like, hey guys, there's all kinds of treats here.
It was like a dessert for.
I see a future Out Comes the Sun podcast live with Roy in South Africa.
I see it.
That's
too.
what I see it too.
Have microphone will travel.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to that visit.
Oh,
and
amazing.
Just us talking about it puts it on our vision board.
That's right.
Instantly.
Absolutely.
And
that's right.
We can materialize that.
Yes.
The thing about animals is they do things they've instinctively. So they've got this, they instinctively want something, go for it, get it, do it.
Yes.
We humans are a bit spoiled for choice in these days. So we kind of want that, but we go, oh, maybe I should rather have that. And I'm not sure about that, because have I checked the reviews, and is this all right, or should I go there, or should I do? How are we ever going to manifest something if we don't have a clear vision of what we want and how we're going to get it? And that's what I'm learning from animals. They want this, they want to go there, they go there. They want to do this, they do that.
Yeah.
Should I, shouldn't I? And then a lot of people just sit on their couch and never do it.
Yeah.
Do what what their dream is or what they want to do. And so I've tried to, so vision boards are a great help for humans to clarify what it is that they're dreaming about and what it is that they want.
Absolutely.
And funnily enough, on my vision board from 3 years ago, I have a picture of myself photographing the elephants in this environment. And when I come to this environment, it looks like that environment on my vision board.
That's
and
awesome.
It's magic, you know, and I go, well, that's how it works. And it's just a tool to help me be clear on what I want.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Roy. We have to have you come back and tell us more stories, because you're extraordinary. My Wildlife, WYLD, is a platform that explores amazing images and intimate experiences of wildlife through the lenses of the celebrated photographer and filmmaker, Roy Zatiski, located in some of Africa's most exotic game reserves. So thank you so much, Roy. This has been an extraordinary time for us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And next, Melissa is going to give us a tip for our show on Out Comes the Sun. So everybody out there, stay tuned for Melissa's tip.
Hey, welcome back to Out Comes the Sun with Mariel Hemingway and Melissa Yamaguchi. I am Melissa, and I am so glad you're with us. I'm going to share some tips with you. My tip of the week with energy and feng shui is this. When we move into each month, the energy shifts and flows. And we are leaving the month of April, and so it's a wind down of April, which what we say in feng shui was the month of the dragon. And as we move into the month of May, we're moving into the month of the snake. Now, what that means is these names of dragon and monkey and snake and what have you, are nothing more than identifiers of how energy moves. So we've left the month of dragon, which is interesting that it's tax season, because dragon is a time of bombastic energy. Sometimes egos are involved, but it's also a highly litigious energy. So we're leaving April, we're moving into the month of May, which is really about the energy of the snake. Well, what does that mean? The snake is let's talk about the beauty of the snake. Highly analytical, very focused on goals and aspirations. And think about a snake as it's traveling from point A to point B. There's no legs involved, so it's very driven on where it's going. It may be a windy path as it slithers along, and it may shed its skin and change its identifiers and what matters to it along the way, but it's still focused in getting where it wants to go. So this is how we approach the month of May. We're focused, we're driven. And as I was sharing not that long ago, last week, we talked about having manifestations of what matters in your life. Well, as we're leading into May with the month of Snake, this is exactly what you need. Shed what no longer works, focus on where you're going, stay driven. But also it's yin and yang. We talk about the beauty of the energy. We also talk about what to look for, the challenges and the hurdles we may face, which are snakes are highly, highly skeptical and non-trusting. Once bitten, twice shy energy. So be weary and beware that if you are coming across as too skeptical, it's very easy to say, yeah, I don't believe it. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's too good to be true. Be open to the possibilities. Push against the tide on what may naturally feel like you're preserving and protecting yourself, but instead be open to the possibilities, because some new idea, some new method of how to do something, some new dietary choice may come your way, and you don't want to be closed off because you're fearful of what could happen. Be open to the possibilities, push against the tide, but stay focused. And some things to do that in the energy that encompasses what we call the snake is a metal energy, which are pastel colors and whites. So incorporate a little bit more white into your fashion choices, your sartorial look. Bring in a little bit more white and pastel colors, or even metal if you can. Bring in more silver or rose gold. All these different choices really help your body to stay on a vibrational course that we recognize in feng shui. And there you have it for the week.
Wow, thank you. That was awesome.
Be sure to stick with us, because coming up is my bestie and soon to be your bestie, Mariel Hemingway. She's going to be sharing her amazing health and wellness tips, so stick around.
Thank you for coming back to us on Out Comes the Sun Radio. I'm Mariel Hemingway, and I'm here with my partner, Mellifluous Mellifluous. Anyway, Melissa. Okay, so here's my tip. The tip of this week for me is I'm going to start with mornings. I really think mornings are important, and what you do first thing in the morning is so incredibly relevant to how your day's going to pan out. So I think that when your eyes open, instead of like grabbing your phone, instead of turning the lights out or whatever you normally do, or jumping out of bed, right?
Yep.
Have several minutes where you feel grateful. Think about the things that you are grateful for. Think about your body, your health. Yep. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my daughters. I'm grateful for my granddaughter. I'm grateful for my best friend. I'm grateful for my life partner, Bobby. I'm grateful for whatever you're grateful for. Take a moment to really take note of those things that really make your heart sing, right? Starting your day with gratitude is hugely powerful too. It has the ability to kind of shift the way you see the rest of the day. Like as you move through the day, if you've started it with this kind of smile, this grin on your face, with this, oh my gosh, look, I'm so grateful the sun is out, or I'm so grateful, spring is here. I'm so grateful. This attitude of gratitude really does have an impact in your life. It's powerful. It's powerful medicine. And people that do it will tell you it shifts their life. It helps you to manifest, because it kind of clears the cobwebs of negativity that happened in your life. When you kind of wake up and you're like, oh my God, you're agitated and thinking, oh, I've got so much to do. If you stop yourself, go, whoa, calm down, right? Calm down. Just take a breath, right? Inhale, exhale slowly, and remind yourself, wait, this is a new day. What am I grateful for? So that's my tip of the my tip of the week, tip of the day, whatever it is. I'm so grateful to all of you. And I want to share again that we are soon on May 3rd, Wednesday, May 3rd, we start Mornings with Marielle and Melissa on KZSB 96.9 FM and 1290 FM right here in Santa Barbara. Oh my gosh, please join us. We're super excited. That's a huge thing for us. So yeah, we were talking about it this morning, talking about how, oh my gosh, are we going to do every day?
Yes.
Like,
well, one thing we didn't talk about is I believe, since it's Santa Barbara, you and I need to wear gauchos.
I snorted. I think I just snorted. Oh my God. This is so great. I love everyone out there. Thank you for listening to Out Comes the Sun Radio. We are incredibly grateful to you, as gratitude is our sort of focus for the day, and also the energy of the snake, which is coming. Let's remind ourselves that things go twist and turn, but there is a definite direction. So I love your tips. I love my tips too, because they've helped shift our lives. Thank you so much for listening to Out Comes the Sun Radio. Tune in every single day in Santa Barbara, because that's what we get to do. That's our future. Thank you so much, everyone.
Out Comes the Sun has been a production of Evolve Entertainment. Hosts Mariel Hemingway and Melissa Yamaguchi. Executive producer Jeremiah Higgins. And sound engineer and producer Richard Dr. D. Dugan. Thank you for listening.